Alright, so I've been having some whining noises coming from my power steering pump or my power steering system on a cold start. You can see it's snowing, so we're in the winter time, and it's just been making a lot of noise. And what I think is going on is that there's an O-ring right in here on the top, and that O-ring is leaking. And you can see there's a significant amount of leakage or seepage all around here, and also inside the reservoir. You can't see it now, but when the car is running and when it's immediately turned off, it will be bubbling up, which is an indicator that there's air coming from somewhere. So we're going to change this O-ring out and see if that solves my problem. Now my first step is going to be to clean this whole area here. So as much as I can get around that pressure hose that goes into the power steering pump. Now I'm pretty sure if this doesn't fix my problem, then I need a new pump. So we'll be back with you. Alright, so I went ahead and cleaned all of this up pretty good. Now you want to make sure that it is really as clean as possible, at least right here where it connects, because if you get any grime or dirt inside your system, then you're gonna immediately know it. You're gonna get leaks all over the system, and probably gonna mess your car up pretty good. So what I'm using is just brake cleaner or engine cleaner, whatever. You can get that stuff for like $5. What tools you're gonna need is I've got a 10mm socket here on the extension kind of thing, and this little mini screwdriver to get the O-ring off. You don't want to scratch anything in there, so you want to be really careful when you're getting the O-ring out. Also, you're going to want to put rags all around your serpentine belt as much as possible to try and stop any fluid from getting on. It is going to leak for sure. How much, I don't really know. I've never opened this up. So you want to protect your serpentine belt and anything underneath here. So this is what you're going to want to get from Honda, is your genuine power steering. This is like $4 at Honda dealership. You can buy it online. Just make sure you get the genuine HG crap. Also the O-ring. Now here is the part that I believe is probably all flat and broken inside and needs to be replaced. Now I went down to Honda and bought it, and they just asked me for my VIN number. Yeah, there's only one of these that they sell. This is a 2005 Honda Pilot that I'm working on right now, but here's the part number right here. So if you ever needed to order it online, it's a little more expensive if you're ordering it online. Alright, so I'm going to replace the O-ring and then put some fluid inside just to top it off, because it has been leaking. So get to it. Alright, so back, we're going to start loosening these up here. This is 10mm sockets here, and that's already really not on there very tight. It's really the O-ring inside that is keeping the seal here. So there's one that I have loosened pretty well, and then the rest pretty much I'm going to hand tightened here. So I'm going to hand tighten these out and see how much fluid we get coming out of these things. So alright, going to make sure you don't lose these bolts. Pretty sure they're really hard to get, so make sure you have like a little cup. I don't have a cup, but most people who work on cars will have these little plastic cups. Now I can smell already the power steering. It smells a little burnt in there. I'm gonna jiggle it out here. Yep, there goes the leakage. So there it is, really minimal. I mean, I have seen a lot more come out on videos that I've watched, but you can see the O-ring there is just flat. It's completely flat. It's supposed to be a nice round O-ring. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that out and clean this up a little bit before I replace it. Alright, so back, we're going to start loosening these up here. This is 10mm sockets here, and that's already really not on there very tight. It's really the O-ring inside that is keeping the seal here. So there's one that I have loosened pretty well, and then the rest pretty much I'm going to hand tightened here. So I'm going to hand tighten these out and see how much fluid we get coming out of these things. So alright, want to make sure you don't lose these bolts. Pretty sure they're really hard to get, so make sure you have like a little cup. I don't have a cup, but most people who work on cars will have these little plastic cups. Now I can smell already the power steering smells a little burnt in there. I'm gonna jiggle it out here. Yep, there goes the leakage. So there it is, really minimal. I mean, I have seen a lot more come out on videos that I've watched, but you can see the O-ring there is just flat. It's completely flat. It's supposed to be a nice round O-ring. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that out and clean this up a little bit before I replace it. Alright, so I've got my new O-ring on, and as you can see here, it looks like it's a little small. We're hoping that it's not, and that's just the way it's supposed to sit inside. Now remember, you want to make sure that everything is clean, and then on top here where it connects is nice and clean. Now my O-ring that was in there, not only was it flat, but it was completely broken. Now that's the main reason for, I'm pretty sure, for this nasty whine. So we're gonna go ahead and put this back on, and sorry, the trick to this is kind of jiggle it in here until it fits just right. There it goes. So it fits in there just nice and snug, and you want to go back over here and get your bolts. Now I'm gonna just hand tighten these real quick, and I'm putting the bolts back in exactly the way that I took them out, because you know, I don't know if one is longer than the other. I didn't really check, but you know, it's pretty safe to do everything exactly the way that you took it off. So we're just gonna make sure we're nice and snug on this, and we're gonna tighten them, and the way we're gonna tighten them is just a little bit at a time, and you know, they don't need to be absolutely tight, because it's really that O-ring that we want to get the suction in. So okay, so that's pretty good. We're going to take these rags out now and start it up. So you can see I covered up the serpentine belt really well here. I need a new one anyway, but it's another day. So we've replaced the O-ring. The old O-ring right here was severely really damaged. Sorry. Come on, Jax. Get out of there. Let's go. Oh. So yeah, you can see mine was absolutely broken, and I didn't break it trying to get it out. And I recommend to get a small pick, because that little screwdriver that I tried to use really wasn't working very well. I was actually lucky that it was broken. All right, so I've removed the rags, and I got my fluid on standby to fill up to the line. We're gonna go ahead and start it up and see if if we have any immediate leaks. So no lights coming on, that's good. And immediately I can hear it's a lot less noisy than it was, and it sounds really good already. Let's look inside the reservoir here. You can see I've got no bubbling at all. Before, this was swirling and bubbling out, and it would actually seep out of the top here. So what we're gonna do is move the steering wheel from left to right all the way. You don't want to hold it for too long, and you want to go to the other side. Okay, do that one, not too long. Do it about twice. And wow, there's such a huge difference. I wish I would have started the car to show you guys the difference here, but it is amazing actually how quiet it's running. I mean, it was every time I turned the steering wheel. Now, looking at it right away, I don't see any leaks. I do see where some of the power steering fluid came out when we opened it up. Now, after you open up the system, you're gonna have air in there, so it is gonna make a little noise. You do want to turn the wheel to get rid of that noise. It'll release the air from the system, and I'm gonna turn it off. It's just amazing how much different it sounds compared to what it was. So I say that's success. That was what my problem was. A lot of people will get told that they need a whole new pump and have the same issue. And as you can see, the issue was not in my power steering pump like the shop told me, but in this little O-ring. The O-ring was completely broken. Sometimes they're just flat. This one's really flat. I don't know if you can tell on my phone, but you can see it's like a square. It's supposed to be really round. Now that I turned it off, we're gonna see if we get any additional bubbling. And there is a little bit of bubbling in there, and I think that's probably just what's left of the air coming out through that reservoir. So, success. I'm gonna put the engine cover back on and call it a day. Get the kids inside.